Hey everyone, how's it going? Kevin here with Push to Talk, and I just got done watching this week's episode of AEW Rampage, and perhaps more importantly, I just finished watching this week's buy-in for AEW Rampage. I think this is going to be a one-time thing. For those who haven't heard, WWE decided to run SmackDown 30 minutes longer this week to try and counter-program AEW Rampage, but Tony Khan met them head on and said, screw you guys, if you're going to do that, then I'm going to run a buy-in on YouTube at the same time. A lot of people are kind of hating on this or whatever online. I don't care. I don't really generally assume with a lot of Twitter opinions on either side of the fence, AEW or WWE. The fact that these two companies are acknowledging each other is awesome. As a nerdo who grew up during the Monday Night Wars, seeing this happening on TV again is super, super cool and awesome. And in 20 years, we're all going to look back on this and think, damn, that was really cool that this even happened. So two companies are acknowledging each other. They're trying, dabbling in counter programming a little bit. I know we got counter programming when WWE ran NXT head to head with AEW, but we know what happened there. Sorry, NXT, as much as I love you. So this buy-in was absolutely insane. The main event of the buy-in was Minoru Suzuki versus Bryan Danielson, and it was insane. I think it's a candidate for match of the year. It was absolutely bonkers. I loved that match. It's one of my favorite matches I've seen in AEW so far. I would go as far to say that. But before we get to that match, let's dive into the beginnings of the buy-in. This week I'm going to do the buy-in and Rampage back-to-back, so I'm going to try and do these pretty quick, so bear with me. But the first match, we had Ty Conti versus Santana Garrett. I have no idea who Santana Garrett is, but she seems pretty good. This match was off to a good start. Some great wrestling to begin things with. We get some cool holds from Ty Conti. She's throwing those judo throws that she does so well. I think that's one of her best moves that she does. She looks like she's going to rip someone's arm out of their socket at some point doing this, so I think that looks great. Ty Conti's getting pretty darn good. I like Ty Conti. I could see her being a contender for that TBS title in this upcoming tournament. I think that'd be the perfect kind of mid-card title to put on her, so go Ty Conti. This match was pretty short, solid, nothing remarkable, so let's just move on to the next one. The next match was Lee Moriarty versus Bobby Fish. I thought this was a pretty darn good. I like Moriarty a lot. I've seen him on Dark a couple of times doing mostly job stuff, but I've also seen him on MLW. In fact, he was on MLW Fusion Alpha this last week, and he put on a great match there. This guy's fantastic, and I think he's actually signed to AEW now, which is pretty exciting. And again, always stoked to see Bobby Fish on AEW. Please reunite Undisputed Era. Just do it. I think that'd be awesome. This match kicks off with some great strikes and grappling. A perfect balance of those two things. I really, really liked it. It looked really good and really believable. I'm a huge fan of this style when they kind of mix in the holds with the strikes. Moriarty is showing some really great technique in these holds, both how he applies them, escapes them, and reverses the, Bobby Fish's holds. Moriarty hits the first big move with a crossbody onto Fish, but Fish answers with a tackle into the corner. This looked real good. The crowd starts to heat up, and Fish hits a great sliding lariat at this point. I thought that was a really great moment. Fish then slows the pace down. He hits a nice senton move over the top rope, and then a suplex. Really great pacing in this match. I think that's what Bobby Fish does best, in addition to his strikes and actual in-ring ability, is how he paces out the matches. He's great. Moriarty starts to pick up speed and shows some strikes of his own. His speed builds pretty darn consistently, but he's shut down quickly by Bobby Fish again. We get a great striking exchange at that point, and Fish hits a great backdrop suplex here at this point, but Moriarty starts to fight back. Fish hits an exploder into the ropes at one point, and that's when he really starts to take control of the match. After that, he hits a nasty kick to Moriarty for the pin. 1, 2, 3. That's the end of that match. Bobby Fish wins. It was a really good match. I like that style a lot. I like Bobby Fish. Let's get to the meat of this now, and I think this is where I'm going to spend the majority of this episode, because Rampage wasn't amazing, but this, holy crap, this was insane. Is this even real life right now? This is one of the best matches I've seen in a while. Even in AEW, New Japan, all of them. This match was absolutely fantastic. Up there with Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega from Dynamite a few weeks back. Maybe even better in my book. Maybe. Just because it's Minoru Suzuki. God, I love AEW. This was so amazing. Minoru Suzuki is one of my favorite wrestlers. Definitely Mount Rushmore worthy, both of all time as well as current. This dude is incredible. I saw him live recently, and he's just absolutely amazing. These guys are head-to-head before the bell, and we just get holy shit chants from the audience right away. So that was great. Everyone's super excited for this match. I love this. I love AEW so much. The match kicks off with joint manipulation style grappling, which looks really good, kind of twisting the arms and the wrists and the fingertips. Both guys are really showing off their fluid transitions between holds, and it's truly unreal to watch these guys work, the way that they do, the way they kind of flow between these transitions, and how quickly they snap into each individual hold. The great transitions and holds and wrestling go on for a while until Bryan Danielson hits a kick, the first strike for the match, to the leg of Minoru Suzuki, and then we know what happens typically with Minoru Suzuki after that. Suzuki's saying, come on, give me more, bring it on, let's do this, young boy. Then after that, the strikes really begin. Danielson hits a European uppercut, Suzuki hits a chop, and these guys really slow things down and take their time with the exchanging of strikes, which I loved. I thought it was fantastic, and the crowd was going nuts. These guys were slapping the absolute crap out of each other and kicking the absolute crap out of each other. Danielson gets some really brutal kicks in during this exchange, but Suzuki then just puts him down with wham, one forearm, crack, and Danielson just collapses. He is out. Danielson then starts to pick up steam with his kicks again, but Suzuki kind of baits him to the rope, and Suzuki gets him into that arm bar over the ropes like we see Suzuki do. I thought this was really great psychology here. As soon as Danielson starts to pick up speed and lays in those kicks, Suzuki kind of sets a trap for him, brings him closer and closer to the ropes, gets him in that arm bar and the ropes. The ref counts to 4, and then Suzuki gets things onto the outside from there. And we know, if you like Minoru Suzuki, this is where he becomes very, very dangerous on the outside. Great psychology here. Great storytelling. This was absolutely fantastic. Another thing, just to note here, that the submissions in this match were locked in super, super tight. These things looked like they really hurt, and the chops were really stiff and hard. We even see some blood on the chest of Minoru Suzuki at one point. These guys were kicking the absolute crap out of each other. This was a strong style match. There is no doubt about that. This match was absolutely amazing. We even get some comedy from Minoru Suzuki with some interactions with the ref, which I love. I love it when Minoru Suzuki does some comedy stuff. The build, psychology, pacing, crowd interactivity. This match was truly something else. You have to go watch it. It's free on YouTube. I mean, shoot, why not, right? Take 30 minutes of your time and go watch this. And it was a pretty long one, I'm not going to lie. Danielson wins the match with a huge running knee after an incredible reversal exchange in and out of each other's finishers. Pins Minoru Suzuki, and it was just incredible. Wow. Really, just wow. I don't know what else to say. I loved this match. This was right up my alley. Then we get into AEW Rampage, so I fire up Sling, I open up TNT, and Rampage begins. Can we just get a buy-in like that every week, please? Just put Minoru Suzuki, all the time. Just have the Minoru Suzuki buy-in every week. I think that'd be great. Kicking this episode of Rampage off, though, we had CM Punk versus Matt Sydal. SmackDown, I've never heard of it. I have no idea what SmackDown is. I guess that's a show that was airing at the same time of this. It beats me. What? This match opens up with some great wrestling as well. Punk is looking really, really tired in this match, especially pretty early on, but I'm pretty sure this is by design. It's playing into the psychology of the match. Sydal is trying to wear Punk out and wear him down. I thought this was fantastic and it made sense. I'm curious to see what other people think about this as well. Do you think it was really blown up, or was this part of the psychology of the match? I think it was part of the latter. Sydal is really taking it to Punk in this match. Punk is looking, like I said, absolutely gassed, but he starts to fight back and hits a great drop kick. The crowd starts to get behind him, and Punk starts to fire up. Sydal takes him down, though, again with a great leg lariat, and resumes control. Punk hits a really great body slam on the ring apron at one point. It looked pretty damn painful, and I liked that a lot. Once Punk slams Sydal onto the ring apron, he kind of takes control of the match. We even get a near double countout at one point, which was pretty cool because you don't really see that too often in wrestling anymore. Punk does end up kicking out of Sydal's finisher, which was cool, and after a quick comeback, he hits the GTS for the win. This match ran about 20 minutes with no commercials, so I know good on Punk for kind of hanging in there. This is like, what, his third or fourth match back, so it's pretty impressive. Punk barely pulled off the win here in this match, and he did look really tired. I think that's going to allow and build into some really great character development for Punk over the next couple of weeks. I think he's going to be wanting to prove himself and show that he can go those longer matches, so I'm excited to see how they develop his character with that in mind. Next, we have the Dark Order backstage, and they challenge the Super Clique. Yes, please. The next match, we have Ruby Soho versus the Bunny. I did not have crazy high expectations for this because I'm not a huge fan of the Bunny, but it was pretty good. Ruby is really showing her stuff here. She is great both offensively as well as how she sells. She's probably one of the best women in AEW right now, from an in-ring ability standpoint, and I can't wait to see, her in the ring with like Hikaru Shida or something. Bunny does hit a really gnarly German suplex onto Ruby Soho from the middle rope at one point. And it looked like a really nasty landing, so props to both the Bunny and Ruby Soho here. That looked painful. Please be careful. Soho ends up picking the win in this one, though, but after she wins, out comes Penelope Ford for the beatdown, hits her with the brass knuckles. I think Penelope Ford versus Ruby Soho is a match I would really like to see. I think that'd be pretty good. I think they're both great. Next we had the main event, and man, I am blasting through this one. I had like a Coca-Cola before this video, so I'm apparently jazzed and just moving, or maybe I'm just going nuts off of that Minoru Suzuki match still, because that shit was just crazy. You should watch it if you don't. I mean, before we get to the last match here, there was even a point on commentary where Taz was like, if you're not watching this match right now, referring to Bryan Danielson and Minoru Suzuki, you're a dumbass. I think I agree with Taz. You should probably go watch it. It's free, and it's on YouTube, and it's one of the best matches I've ever seen in AEW. Getting to the last match, though, we had the Inner Circle versus American Top Team. It was Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, and Sammy Guevara versus Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, and Junior Del Santos. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know real sports. So for the rest of this review, I'm going to refer to him as MMA guy, because that's pretty much what he was in this match, was just an awkward MMA guy trying to do pro wrestling. Jericho was great during the promo segment that led up to this match. I thought it was really funny. He was fired up and looking good. Jericho came to the ring to Judas, people sang him in, it was awesome. Dan Lambert came out to the ring, and he's already talking shit on the mic. I like that, demanding that the crowd, who is like the hometown crowd for American Top Team, sing them to the ring. Dan Lambert is so funny, and I like him a lot, and he's a jerk at the same time. Match kicks off with Sammy and Scorpio Sky. These guys are absolutely a great pairing with one another. Sammy's crazy. He's all over the place as usual. Jericho tags in at some point, and so does MMA Guy. MMA Guy does MMA things. He seems okay, I guess. Then Hager tags in, and we get a pop from the crowd. It looks like Hager, also an MMA fighter, versus MMA Guy. They're doing MMA-looking stuff, kind of like why? I don't like that. I thought it looked bad, and get that out of my wrestling, please. Please keep MMA out of my pro wrestling. I don't like it. Junior De Los Santos, or whatever his name is, MMA Guy, he has a long way to go if he's going to be a pro wrestler. This guy's not good. I was not a fan. I mean, I know I'm just some nerd talking to a camera with a YouTube channel, and he would, definitely do better than I ever possibly could. But from a fan point, I don't like this guy. I don't think he's very good. And I don't like MMA in my wrestling. I really, really don't like it. And things get better when it's back to Sammy and Sky, though. Sammy's just all over the place, hitting everything, standing shooting star presses, insiguris, dudes just flipping all over the place. There was a point where I'm assuming Sammy hit something really, really big and the crowd popped huge and started doing holy shit chants, but it was off camera. The camera was actually focused on MMA Guy on Jake Hager on the outside, which I was pretty annoyed by. I was hoping they would do like a replay of whatever it was that Sammy did, but they didn't. So that was kind of a bummer. MMA Guy takes a table bump from a Uranagi from Jake Hager. I would rather have seen what Sammy did, not gonna lie. Jericho gets Sky in the walls of Jericho at the end of the match, but the MMA lady gets on the upper apron, which allows the ref distraction for the other MMA guy to hit a knee on Jericho. Sky pins Jericho for the win. Top team beats down the Inner Circle, and out comes Santana and Ortiz for the win. I thought it was an okay episode of Rampage. I think the best episode of Rampage itself was the CM Punk match. I thought that match had some great psychology and really great logic and some great character development and storytelling for Punk. They didn't hit the craziest moves in the world, but to me, that personally doesn't matter. What's more important is the psychology, and I thought that was, some great psychology in that match for sure. Allowing for some future character development for CM Punk. So we'll see if they take advantage of that, if they play on it. I hope they do. I did not like the last match. I'm sorry. Even as someone who loves Chris Jericho and the Inner Circle, I really don't like the MMA guys. I really like Dan Lambert. I would like it if they just put Dan Lambert with Men of the Year, Scorpion Sky, and Ethan Page and just left it at that and did not have anything to do with the MMA guys. But I guess if that were the case, we probably wouldn't see Dan Lambert at all. But that was, I don't know, I just have never liked that crossover. I remember the Ronda Rousey stuff and trying to check it out because of the hype, and I thought it was terrible. It wasn't for me. MMA and wrestling should be kept pretty separate. Unless if you're an MMA person and you go and you train really hard to become a pro wrestler, I'm sure that's different, right? Like Shayna Baszler, for example, she was an MMA fighter and she's an incredible professional wrestler. Shayna Baszler rules. But I think, it's actually pretty rare when we see someone do it super successfully, especially when they're just kind of jumping straight from MMA to pro wrestling. It just, it doesn't make sense. It's just like it wouldn't make sense for a pro wrestler to go do MMA like CM Punk tried to do, right? I guess Brock Lesnar did it really well. But, same idea. Really, though, the big takeaway from Rampage this week was that buy-in, especially with Bryan Danielson versus Minoru Suzuki. I could nerd out on that thing all day. I thought it was so good. Please go watch that. If I end up doing a match of the year kind of recap thing in a couple of months, you can bet your ass that thing's going to be on there because it's so damn incredible and so good. Go watch that. Please go watch that. It rules. I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to get this video uploaded to the computer, snip it up a bit, get this guy uploaded to YouTube, and then go play video games for literally the rest of the weekend until Dynamite is on Saturday. Totally forgot about that. I should be stoked. I am stoked that Dynamite's on Saturday. It's been a long week without AEW to watch. Wednesday was kind of a bummer night. I just hung out and I watched the Unsolved Mysteries reboot on Netflix, which is actually pretty good. I'm not going to lie. But, like, it's not Dynamite, right? So, glad things return to normal next week, and I'm super glad we get Dynamite tomorrow night. I'll shoot that video probably a little later in the evening. I would imagine I've got a LAN party that I'm hosting tomorrow, so we'll see how late that goes. But guaranteed I'll be watching Dynamite and shooting a review. Thanks so much for watching this AEW Rampage recap. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check me out on Instagram. I am Push to Talk 1, and I will see you all next time.